we'll hold that thought for a second as we're getting into game one in the upper right in the blue. He is, for Good Game Gaming, their ace. It's Dream. In the bottom left in the red, he is, for Kaizi Gaming, excuse me, it's Reynor. Reynor. The king, in fact. Be Dream, be Reynor. Oh, the one thing I've forgotten. All right, so last things last, we're all set up here. Finally good, ready to go. So, again, here we do have a matchup of two teams that are expected to do different things this season in WTL. We do expect, of course, Kaizi Gaming to challenge for the top of the table. But, unfortunately, they didn't win last week. Psystorm got the better of them after Reynor and Time were each only able to take one map, and Spirit got 2-0'd by Max Packs. So that is not how we expect this to go. Psystorm last season was good, to be sure, but they were not world killers. You know, Psystorm, they ended the regular season upper middle of the pack. There we go. They finished the regular season in 5th place. Yeah, they were within a shouting distance of the top of the table, but it was a 4-point spread, which is, you know, pretty significant. And then they lost their first attempt in the playoffs. Envy 4-2'd them in playoffs round 2. So, I mean, they were good, but no roster changes have happened. So I didn't really expect that as much as I am, you know, a decent Psystorm fan. I was on Psystorm when it was, well, I was on what is modern Psystorm, which was, of course, Exxon back in the day before I went off and joined Alpha X, and I do root for them. Proud of you, Foshers. I went and I did a bunch of core work, and then I did, what, if you sprint and then jog, or sprint and then walk, is that a Tabata or a Fartlek? Fartlek is the I did effective. Yeah, Tabatas. Okay. Which are when you sprint and then you go slow, and you sprint and then you go slow, and you sprint and then you go slow, and it kills you. Or in this case, not quite a Tabata because it was like 80% of sprinting speed and then going a little longer. But yeah. Fartlek is just playing around with speeds while you run. But we did both of them in cross country, and I just remember hating both of them, so I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's gonna be fine here. As we got to talk about this game just a little bit. Medevac going out pretty early for Dream. So keep an eye, of course, on the production tab. Is there a world where this is going to be some sort of Hellbat play? I don't know. Could, of course, just be Hellion drops. And, well, 3 Marines on the way to side is, well, look at that. It's WTL. World Team League Season 4, sponsored by TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. There's a decent amount of Marines early. This Marine pressure is actually something that we've seen Beyond doing more and more. In fact, Terrans in general, it seems like over the last month or so, have been messing around with a lot of 2.5 base aggression. The whole, yes, I built a couple extra Marines in a medevac, or I built a couple XYZ units, and I have a medevac. So let's go across the map. It's not committed super hard. You're not, as long as you trade out well enough, you're not too upset if you lose it, but if you get stuff done, it's great. So the Marines will drop out here, but Queens do a good job from Reynor of pushing forward, trying to get damage done on the units before they are fully all clumped up and before they really do push that damage out. So Ling's going to look for a scout, and it's not going to find its way in. So Reynor loses a Ling. That is totally fine. Yeah. You can understand why I couldn't remember which was which. Although it's funny. So what I'm just being found out here is that I need to go and I need to get new shoes. Because I went and the way I was doing was like 80% of sprinting speed for 20 seconds, then walking for a little bit, doing that again. And, you know, try to sprint out the last one. And my running shoes are so bald. Like, okay, like they don't need, it's not a cushioning problem, right? They're barefoot shoes, but my running shoes are so bald that I was just not able to run properly because it was grass and it was towards the evening, so it was a little wet. A little bit of dew on that. And I was just like, my feet were slipping out from under me as I was trying to run. It was pain. But here comes the pressure from Dream. A lot of creep spread is getting knocked out, and that is a powerful benefit of this type of push. He's going to get an Overlord as well. Not supply blocking Reynor, of course, but not supply blocking him either. And Reynor is taking this seriously. He's got 13 queens. He's got 13 queens, which is a lot of queens, just so we're clear. And that means that this push from Dream, realistically, I can't expect it's going to get too much done. There we go. Thank you. We have the production tab back. Seems like our observer was struggling for a little bit. And with Baneling speed being done as well, I mean, this is just a powerful army that Reynor has. He doesn't have upgrades. I don't even know that he's Evo chambers, but he does have a lot of stuff here. And I think he's just going to look for a great big surround coming in from multiple angles. Bunch of Lings on the north side getting ready. Couple Banelings fall, but as the Queens push forward here comes the surround. Lings and Banes from every side. Tanks on the front line, which was back line, but anyways, it gets knocked down. Everything gets knocked down. Queens, so many of them pushed all this back, and all the creep spread that was removed, it's still there. You're not, these queens will be able to spread much creep. But we do have to point out that Reynor is kind of playing like this is a 3-base, or is kind of playing an all-in style with no upgrades. That does cause problems as his opponent starts to build up himself into a bit better of a position. Now, one queen is rather low, and it will not actually go down. Banelings try to go forward, and tanks actually get some pretty good shots here, but Dream cannot exist in this position. And good job there from Reynor to make sure that his Lings knock the tanks down before Banelings fall too quickly. There are a couple queens that are on like 5 HP, and I really do want to see him go and just heal those back up, but for now, drop into the natural. And Reynor, he was prepared to deal with the drop at the prospective 5th, not maybe in the natural. Now queens are starting to fall here, so Dream is starting to find a little bit of value, but Lings, now they filter forward, and it will be enough to push Dream back for the moment. We do, of course, have to point out that this is a 2-base all-in from Dream. He is not committing to a 3rd base. He's getting upgrades, of course, but he's not committing to a 3rd base. So Reynor, he's got to have to figure out just exactly how many drones he can squeak out and how far he needs to go into army production. He's been doing a great job holding right now, but again, I feel like I've seen a lot of these. I feel like I've seen a lot of these TVZs where the Terran, it feels like they're stymied, and feels like they're stymied, feels like they're stymied, and then all of a sudden they just win. Beyond does this a lot, actually. So again, Reynor setting up some pretty significant surrounds on the north side of the map, and Dream, he's trying to establish some creep control. He's trying to make sure that he can get towards Reynor's 4th, but Reynor's just not allowing him to do so. Of course, 1-1 will be done for Dream in about 5 seconds. That is going to be a timing where Reynor does not have his upgrade. So this bio is about to become a lot more powerful, die a lot less, and these queens are starting to fall. Transfuses from Reynor not quite where they need to be. The queen's getting low. Lings coming in from the bottom side, but a little bit asynchronous here because here comes the Lings on the top side now. It's a little bit disjointed, and even still, it seems like it's going to clean this up. Good splits there from Dream on the backside, and as I say that, it looks like the answer is no, it does not clean up Dream here. Yes, he knocks down some reinforcements, but some Marines will arrive. And, well, a lot of queens have died. We were at 13 queens at one point. Now we're at, well, not nearly as much. So the 4th base now under significant threat. Bunch of drones will get knocked down. And this is not... This is what I'm talking about, where the Zerg goes. And they hold. They take some great fights, but one mistake, and suddenly they're dead. You know, Devin the Dude, I appreciate the support, but I do not appreciate that joke. I didn't ban you, though. I didn't time you out. Just That's a little bit too far. Nah, it's not really. It's too objectifying. Or, like, more importantly, it's too objectifying of people that are not me. Anyways, driving the main base here really just forced Reynor back a little bit. So here comes Dream. And Reynor now, he's in this position where he's got this big run by, but he's not going to be able to get that much done. Welcome to the internet indeed, Devin the Dude. But remember, I have moderator access of my own chat. So if I don't like it, I can remove it. Very easy. Very simple. This army from Dream is terrifying. Yes, Reynor does have 1-1 now, but Reynor is on 4 hatches, not even. His 4th base is just about done. He has not built a macro hatch. He cannot afford that one. So he cannot afford to lose the space. He will lose. Not only will he lose income, he will lose production that he cannot afford to lose. And as the Liberators siege up with the... Come on, you can do better. I know you can do better. So, Lings will try to find some of these reinforcements, but they're really not going to be able to find that. And, I mean, it's 12 minutes in. This is still a 2-base Terran, but Reynor is barely on 4 bases. So, Lings actually a great engagement on top of a bunch of these Marines. But the Liberators in the sky, they're just killing Banes, and Reynor does not continue onto the aggression. Oh, bunch of Baneling shots on the north side, but they're really not going to find what they want. These Liberators really are the problem. The Queens continue to fall. Reynor falls, in fact. Dream with a fantastic 2-base all-in. He takes game 1. In the upper left, in the blue, folks, for Good Game Gaming, it's Dream. The bottom right, in the red, down 1 for Kaizi. It's Reynor. Hey, Scarlet. Oh, so Scarlet, I want your opinion on something, because you were asking me, about emote ideas. And I kind of I got one for me, but I'm like, I'm not sure whether it's a good idea or not. So, when you're behind, and I was talking about this yesterday too, but I'm probably not going to do it, but it amuses me. When you're behind, you go Dark Shrine, right? So it occurs to me that, like, the Amogus, the Among-Us twerking emote, you do that, but it's a Dark Templar. Because the DTs are taunting you, and, when behind Dark Shrine. Is that a bad idea? Probably a bad idea. Be abused immediately. Exactly that kind of thing. Yes, that is exactly it. I'm seeing chat telling me that I need to do it. The amount of butt emotes that exist on Twitch are, like, the amount of not only butt emotes, the amount of butt emotes that people that are in my chat right now have access to is actually kind of disconcerting a little bit. And bonk. So, Ling's on to the other side of the map from Reynor, as he did open pool first here in this game number 2, on the assumption maybe that Dream was going to try to be greedy out of his 2-base all-in in game number 1. And it seems like his build, his idea will be successful, because the natural is only halfway done. There's a Reaper on the other side of the map, and luckily Dream did get a Marine behind that. He didn't go pure greed of Reaper into Reactor, but still, the natural will get delayed for quite a while, and SCV is going to try to be a little bit adventurous, but that just sacrifices its life. Well done, Grumpage. We'll try to get you that Behind emote. Oh, I forgot to run ads, so we'll do that after this game. Lings are, I mean, they're doing a good job. They will not get this base, I cannot imagine, but oh, getting on top of the Marine, but no, Micro is going to be good enough. Marine will not go down, but still, 6 Lings to deny the base this long. Kill off an SCV or 2, I think it was only 1. And that's a pretty low that's a pretty low natural, to be totally honest. I don't think it's going to be super relevant in this game. Akano Proto. Yeah, I guess those are applicable. Hey, bunch of letters, 2013 SC2. MTCF 2013 SC2. Is that when you started following StarCraft? It's kind of when I started following StarCraft, actually. Okay. Where do we stand at this point? Hello, Azale. Azale. Reynor's third base, just about done. It's, of course, a little bit slower because he did go for the pool first, but you consider this worth it because he did delay the natural of Dream long enough. But Dream's got a Marauder on the way. Dream has a Viking on the way. He is not intending on taking this game all that long. Instead, oh yeah, he's got it rallied way the hell back here. We have some Hellions on the field. We're probably going to have 4, so this is just going to be a very committed timing of Hellbats, of Marauders, of a Viking just for added DPS. And Reynor, he loves his Mass Queens. He's got 3 more on the way right here, so that he's probably at 6. That's going to be going up to 9. He might even go even more, not totally sure. And he's got a Baneling Nest on the way behind that. He seems to have some understanding that Dream is going for that level of aggression here in this game number 2, in part maybe just because of the damage he got done. Because really, he hasn't seen much of anything. A twerking Baneling could be kind of fun, actually. Hey, M. Togawa. Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay. Is this going to work out? I mean, this is more all-in than your standard Hellbat timing with the Liberators, with the Vikings. Reynor does have a lair on the way, of course, which means he can only build 2 queens at a time, but here comes the pressure. It is 6 queens here. You got to bring all 9 together here, Reynor. You need them all. Hellbats will morph, and we're going to see the medevac get very low at the start, which is, of course, what Reynor wants, but these queens do not have a lot of energy. One is going to go down. Second one going to go down pretty quickly. And the Lings, they're a little bit slow. Yes, they can be turned into Banelings, but actually, okay, we did have a couple Banelings right there. Decent drone pull, actually. But now they are starting to fall just a little bit. The Marauders on the backside doing so much damage here, but it looks like the Hellbats will be taken down, and there we go. Medevac dies as well, but 10 drones and a whole crap ton of queens will all fall here. So, yeah, Reynor holds, but not in the ideal way. Not exactly what you're looking for. But as the Lings go on the other side of the map, they are starting to knock down some of the reinforcements of Dream, and this is where things can get a little bit complicated, but of course those Lings are very, very low, so one shot kills them off. Even still, Hellions go down, Marines go down. The entire push, in fact, of Dream is dead. He doesn't really have follow-up aggression outside of this Liberator that's going to show up in the main base, and realistically, this Liberator can get work done. A lot of queens went down in the defense of Reynor's third base. And Dream, for his part, he's not going for a 2-base all-in. He's not going for that level of aggression that we saw him go for in game number 1. It worked out for him very well. As Queen's got to run. We'll take 2 shots, but should be fine. That worked out very well for him, of course, but he does have a 3rd base on the way. 4 more barracks behind this as he gets ready into the mid-game. From, yeah, I think we can say a minor lead. He got 10 workers and he got a bunch of queens. He did lose a lot of his stuff, and he did commit to that more than you normally do. But I think we can say at the very least, he's got a minor lead. Yeah, the question is, well, I have too many Baneling emotes. I don't know. I'm a fan of the Baneling hug emote, although I fear that it's just slightly too small and is not exactly like it's just not understood by kind of looking at it. But anyway, Liberator is now going to find a position, despite 2 sports here, he's going to find a position behind the main base. So again, Reynor's economy, it's not terrible, but it's not good. Gosh. Gotta snooze the ads. I forgot to run ads like right at the stream start, and I'm getting punished for it. Okay. So, Lings run by here from Reynor. They're looking for some big Widowmine actually potential, but it actually doesn't get all that much done. So, we're gonna see a supply depot go down, and actually it's gonna put Dream pretty close to supply block. Yeah, Scarlet's got it. So So Dream approaching, actually, he is pretty heavily supply blocked here, waiting for his 4th base to go down. And the decision to go late game on Cosmic is one that I do appreciate as the Terran. Now, there are times, especially as the Terran's taking the 4th base, really is that's the biggest moment where the Zerg can't punish how wide open this map is. But as the game goes late, of course, there are only 6 bases aside. The gold base can be pretty hard to take. So the lack of bases here makes it hard for Zerg to build the economy, to build the bank that they want to find. But Reynor taking advantage of the fact that Dream's army is on the other side of the map. Banelings go forward. Widowmine is going to keep the rest of this army safe, but now will he get triggered off? Ling run by gets 13 workers, and most of it stays alive here. So Reynor does have to pull that all the way back. Doesn't want to lose too much of this, but Dream has the temerity to move out on the map, and just immediately Reynor stomps it. Smashes it right the hell on down. And now the rest of this drop, yeah, it's gone. But Liberators in the main base in the natural, they get 5 workers, which is a little bit more than you kind of want to give up as Reynor. And that does, I mean, it's more drones you got to build. That's less Lings, that's less Hydras, for example. That's less whatever you want to do, right? Going to the mid game, going to the late game. And Dream will pick off a little bit more of this run by. And despite the damage that Dream has taken, he lost 13 workers. He's still at 65. And he does have his 4th base on the way, which will, of course, I mean, a 4-base Terran, 5-base Terran is really where they want to get to. That is really that lockdown late game setup. But I'm curious to see where Dream will expand. Taking the rich gas base, so at 12 o'clock or the 1 o'clock-ish base, is the natural kind of expansion pattern, but it's so far away from the natural that it can be pretty heavily punished. It's a strong position to push out of course, because it's so close to where the Zerg wants to be, but even still. Curious to see which base Dream does decide to take. But for right now, 2-2 just about done for Reynor. It's going to be down actually just a little bit quicker than what Dream has. And as Reynor approaches max out, he can make something happen, I think. But for now, Widowmines are going to get dropped onto the 5th base. And, well, the Liberators here as well. It is diminishing some of the defense potential. Widowmines will go off big shots. And it's kind of funny when we see these Widowmine drops, and actually that medevac should die, I think. When we see these Widowmine drops, they tend to just punish the Zerg by killing a bunch of Lings, but this is a great push from Dream onto the right side. No Baileys here. A bunch of Queens have gone down. Dream's just kind of being able to sit here. Hydra's joined the fight now, so medevacs will fall, but Hydras against Marines, okay, there we go. Bailey shut the connections. Hydras against Marines are maybe not the best thing you're looking for. Even still, that Widowmine continues to find value. It's killed four units at this point. And this is something that Reynor has been periodically vulnerable to. The random Widowmine drops, even if it is just to kill a bunch of Lings, are something that, well, Cure was actually the one we first saw him, at least to my memory, the first time we saw it happen to him, and he got popped. When I say Terran 2-2, you see Marines in ballet dresses. I would pay money. Actually, you know what I would pay? I don't necessarily need Marines in 2-2s, but I do want Stalkers in 2-2s. These Stalkers are dancers. Anyway, big drop here going in. Oh, the Widowmines. Again, they don't kill many workers, but they get so many Lings and so many Banes, and that is really how these, it feels like how this punish happens. These games happened yesterday morning, Archgator. So yes, they were before today's DreamHack games. So normally we do about 12 hours time shifted. We're doing about 36 hours time shifted this time because I could not do 12-hour time shifted as DreamHack North America or EPT North America happened. Oh, the Viper's no Reynor. He's going to lose one immediately here. Widowmine shots pretty great as well, but friendly fire will knock down the majority of the rest of this army again, and Reynor now is going to be able to split just a little bit more decently. Where's the 5th base? Oh, Dream, that's the question. He's got a planetary at his 4th, and something that's interesting that I've seen Zergs do more, Terrans do more and more, is Ling's trying to capitalize. Okay, there we go. That gets triggered. Now here comes the army of Reynor. Blinding Clouds on top of the one tank, but Lings and Banes onto the high ground where they will find a pure bounty of, well, a lot of SCVs. Even still, the tanks are causing problems. They're starting to kill things a little bit, but this base is dead. Dream's got a drop on the bottom left side. It is starting to kill a decent amount of Reynor's economy, but he still does have 4 bases. And honestly, getting the 4th base of the Terran is probably more important than killing off the 5th base of the Zerg, although Reynor does not want to pull these drones. There we go. He's going to be fine. 3 drones in totality. They all fall. The medevac will not go down, just barely. And Dream, at the very least, he can build another planetary. He's building an orbital, but he did cancel that. And there's the Widowmine drop that Dream has been looking for. Reynor's going to be able to deal with these eventually. Well, I think. Oh, okay. So at least it's going to get like 4 drones. Or not. 21 total workers die. Oh, okay, Widowmine ran into 11 kills. These Widowmines are... Well, they're causing far more damage than they ever should. Dream lost so much in the last minute or so as a Ling literally reaches over and just tickles the Widowmine, and that's that. These Lings have gotten so much damage. They have gotten, or sorry, the Widowmines have gotten so much damage that even as Reynor did knock Dream back into the Stone Age, knocking that 4th base down, killing off a bunch of workers, arguably Dream got more done by killing off Reynor's 5th. And honestly, if Reynor just loses the 5th, he's fine. But these Widowmines, 8 more workers go down. I don't even want to know how many workers Reynor has lost at this point. It's got to be like 45. Skill mines indeed. Okay, EMP on 1 Viper, but it still has enough energy for a couple, or like for like 1 Abduct, or maybe a Blinding Cloud. There we go. Drop goes down. And Reynor's creep spread, he's lost a lot of queens this game. It's not really where he wants it to be. Blinding Clouds on top of the tanks on the left side here. Lings and Hydras coming in from 2 sides. Now there is a planetary that you can retreat to, but well, these tanks will go down very quickly indeed. Hydra's fighting from range to kill the planetary. In fact, planetary is dead once again. Dream does so much with the Widowmines. He does so much with the Widowmines. But unfortunately, it's not enough, and Reynor does not look pleased with that win. He won, sure, it's a 1-1, but he expects 2 zeros every day, all day, twice on Sundays. And game number 1 in the bottom left in the blue. He is, for Good Game Gaming, a color. It's Cyan. In the Cyan, actually, although Cyan's more of a greenish. This is blue. Whatever, it's close enough. In the upper right, for Kaizi, it's Spirit. There are a couple names that just make me think of Tennyson. All right, so there is a... Oh, what's the poem? The Second Coming. Oh, no, sorry. It's Yeats, not Tennyson. But there's a line. There's a line in the second body, I guess. We can't really call these stanzas, I don't think, because they're not in any way, shape, or form repetitive. But hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight, is the kind of line that I'm picking out of a couple lines. But, you know, spirit of the world. So, spirit. That's all I got. That's the interesting anecdote of the day that tries to make Behemoth look more learned than he actually is. Although it was really cool. I had lunch with an author. His name is Pico Iyer. He's a well-celebrated travel author and thinker. He's traveled with the Dalai Lama for like the last 20 years or something like that, maybe longer. So I do have that one going for me. It was a great conversation talking about a bunch of different stuff. And I got the best compliment that I've probably ever received in my life. And I was talking to him afterwards, and he was like, yeah, you know, Philip, you seem really well read. Like you seem interested for an engineer. You seem really interested in a lot of things. And you know, a man who talks to the Dalai Lama. First of all, my bacon number to the Dalai Lama is 2 now, which is kind of cool. But anyway, where are we going in this game number 2? It was actually Marine first into a Reaper from Spirit. Very interesting here. This does, well, it makes things a little bit different. That's the Spirit, exactly. Quantum Shield. Makes things a little bit different. The Reaper's going to show up at a weird timing that Cyan may not be expecting, and in general, he just will not be expecting a Reaper. So this means the Adept may go onto the other side of the map, will not be there to defend properly, maybe. And, well, this might just buy a little bit opportunity, but no. Cyan, despite scouting the Marine Spirit, he's not going to get in. So Cyan did not bite on that information. Whether he kind of did the mental arithmetic on the information or not, I don't know, but Spirit does not double blind, does not triple blind Cyan into a really easy scout. And Cyan does have a Stargate on the way behind this. Oracle first. I'm going to be curious to see whether this is going to be Oracle into Phoenix or just the straight Oracle try to get some damage done and move from there. Normally, it doesn't really feel like you go single Oracle, as the Reaper will be forced out once again. And if he goes Phoenix beyond this, I actually really do like that, because it's going to be drops from Spirit in this game number 1. Widowmine drops, actually. It's kind of funny You look at Terran builds, and if you see a Hellion going out, first and foremost, 99 times out of 100, it's not that. It's a Widowmine drop. Which is pretty funny. Must be very warm tomorrow. Hellion Reaper finds its way into the natural. 2 workers fall. Adepts should complete their shade, and there we go. Reaper is dead. Hellion is dead. And, well, Templar Twilight Council is on the way. Oracle gets a little bit of damage, but Marines are there, and Cyan, not nice, keeps his pulsar beam on just a little bit too long. So he's going to lose out on a bit more energy. He can still Reveille. He can still kill workers, but he doesn't really have a stasis trap energy for the moment. And Spirit's not going to let him back in again. He's building more Marines, of course, but the big deal is there's a Viking on the way. So Vikings do a pretty good job at shutting down units that cannot fire back. But here's where life gets fun. Cyan is going, really taking a page out of Hero's book. And then he's got 3 depths that are going to go in the natural, and they one-shot Marines, by the way, if they get all their shots off. So they one-shot SCVs as well. And depths, they're actually really not getting all that low, but it looks like the Oracle was forced back. So, yes, the Adepts denied some mining. Yes, they killed a couple workers here. Now we're going to see Widowmines get carpet bombed on top of things. Only one gets dropped down. That's really not. It's going to get a stalker, actually, which means that this drop is going to go off in the main base. I think the Widowmine dies regardless. Probes pulled a little bit too late. Oh, no, they're clumped. They're so damn clumped. 7 workers go down. Oracle as well. And that is exactly what Spirit was looking for. Not what Cyan was looking for, of course, but very much what Spirit was. The Widowmine tries to run. I don't think it gets to hide, though. I don't think it gets to play peekaboo for a second time. There we go. We'll go down. But, Chad, I got a question for you. Folks, I got a question for you. Halloween is in exactly 20 days. There's going to be a Halloween party at my graduate. There's going to be a Halloween party at my school. What is my Halloween costume? I have not started on setting up a Halloween costume for this year yet. I'm kind of. I used to have this big box of costume stuff back at home, but I don't have it up here. So yeah, well, what do I do? Someone told me to be I should be Queen Elizabeth II, so I'm contemplating the decision to become a ship. That sounds like fun. But there we go. Viking will drop down. A couple Vikings, they do a lot of damage to probes, and Stalkers are a little bit slow on the warping. So he's going to get 7 workers. Spirit has gotten 6 workers in Oracle from the Widowmine drop, and 7 here. Adepts, they think about shading in, but there's a tank. They're Marines. They don't really want to do that. Does Cyan have Blink? He's playing like he is. So yeah, he's got Blink. Charge is on the way. How many gateways does he have? Or how much gas heat does he have? Excuse me, it's 3. So he will stay on charge for quite a while here. Stalkers trying to find the maximum value that they can. And Spirit, though, I'm kind of worried because it feels like Spirit's just going to run across the map with this really powerful army. 3-1-1, Stim Combat Shield +1. But Cyan is committing to this. He's got a gateway on the map. He's got a lot of Stalkers, and he's hitting this weird... what is this, 4-gate? 5-gate type of setup. Adept shade in. They're just trying to see how many tanks there are. Bunker will fall. It's not even going to get salvaged. That's 100 minerals down the drain. And Bio does not have stim. 13 seconds away from this one, so Stalkers will just continue to trade. It's a weird idea from Cyan, but I actually do like it quite a bit. Spirit, though, is getting ready. -400, -400. It's... Yeah, oh, okay. Because I'm going as a ship, you're saying I should go as the mothership. What kind of proto? Got it. Got it. Good idea. I worry that no one will understand, though. I just walk... No, even better, I just walk around with just a piece of paper on my chest that says -400, -400. Oh, I'm a mothership. What the hell, Philip? That's nerdy as... That's nerdy as anything. What are you doing? Would be the response. Or just a thing of plain and simple... I don't get it. Why are you... Just Twitch chat? Like, what? Spirit will find the gate on the bottom right side, though. But the base of the Widow... Excuse me. The gate in the upper left is not going to get all that much stuff. Widowmine drop goes off, goes down. Is a bit annoying. Burrows and unburrows. So Cyan loses some of his map control. Widowmine drop gets actually 3 workers at the end of the day. Widowmine's going to burrow here. And that is going to be the end of that one. But in the main base, Cyan is not paying attention. And that is the damage. 6-9 workers go down. So, folks, add it all together. It's like 30 workers here. Spirit continues to just wreak havoc on the economy of Cyan, and more importantly, these were cloaked wines now. There's an observer on the way, but it's not there just yet. Cannon does complete, so there is at least that one. And in the main base, well, observer will arrive in time. Widow mines do not reset, but still annoying. Have a clown nose, just wear that and call it good. Hack. Hi, I'm a North American Protoss player. This is my Halloween costume. Oh, there's the drop in the main base. And this is where life is a little bit difficult because the army of Cyan is in the middle of the map. So he can't really return home defensively to deal with this. He's got to warp stuff in. +2 will be denied. And that's a pretty significant Orthosis pylon. Yeah, a couple gateways will still be powered, but a couple will not be. Cyan, you know, he's got a bit of an opportunity here. That's a big army, not the biggest army from Spirit. Not really. Force fields are going to be fantastic, but he can't really swoop forward and save them because the Stalkers will just target the medevacs right the hell on down. So Spirit in a bit of a base trade here in game number 1. He's going to get the Nexus down. He is going to kill the Nexus, and that will make up for a lot. And certainly as the rally here of Spirit starts to join the fray, yes, 12 workers have gone down, but again, production from Cyan is dead. Nexus from Cyan is dead. He's still not supply blocked despite losing like 5 pylons on a Nexus because, again, his supply is just not in a good spot. So, we're going to see a lot. This is 5 gateways that Cyan cannot use. And yeah, Cyan taps out. He can't produce anymore. He does not have any more money. And he does not break the third base of Spirit. So Spirit goes up 1-0. I think this is as expected. Oh, I forgot to update stream title. Be Cyan. In the upper left, folks, in the blue, he's down 1, really just got torn apart by the harassment. He is Cyan for GGG. And that's what he typed last game, GGGGGG, because he died. In the upper right, in the red here on the Protoss map, he's up 1. It's Spirit. Well, I am pretty significantly, well, maybe not. Okay, we're fine. Because I thought it was pretty significantly delayed from my stream compared to like what I'm seeing, like 5 or 6 seconds, which is pretty significant in Twitch. But no, we're fine. We're dandy. We are A-okay. So what does Spirit do in game 2? It's funny. We saw Cyan pick this map of all maps, and to my mind, this is a pretty Terran map. You know, you can go take that natural for free. It powers up a 2-base push if that's what you want to go for. It means you're going to get a quick third if that's what you want. It does allow the Terran to be greedier than they would like. And because of how Terran scales, I mean, getting 3 CC very quickly against a Protoss, it means they keep parity. Protoss, by the 4-minute mark, wants to be up about 8 workers. If they can't do that, well, it becomes much harder for them indeed. But Spirit is going to take the low ground natural with an SCV that already has taken 4 or 5, you know, or not 4 or 5, 3 or 4 shots, 2 or 3 shots from the probe. Excuse me. I'm very, why is Spirit taking the forward base? It means he has a free third whenever he wants to take it. It's fine. He's adding a second barrack, so is this going to be 3-on-1? 2-on-1? It might be a Ryung type stim timing. But again, just getting this forward base when you have the base for free is a bit interesting to me. I guess it's just because that base is pretty free against a Protoss for the most part, as a Terran is pretty free. And I guess the time where it's not free is if there's, say, a proxy Oracle or something. And it's funny, Cyan can go take the Stargate where his pocket third would be, his pocket natural would be. And that is effectively a proxy. It's so fast. You put it in the corner and you can put it just out of range of what the Xel'Naga can see, and then, well, Oracles in the Terran's natural very, very quickly. So I guess that is what Spirit's going for. He just doesn't want to have to respond to that one until he's sure that he's not going to have to worry about it. So Stargate is on the way for Cyan, and we should see an Oracle out, but Oracle didn't get that much damage done in game 1. In fact, it died very quickly to a wayward Widowmine. I feel the need to stand. I've been in my chair all day fighting with LaTeX. So LaTeX, or latex, or LaTeX, is a document formatting language that is used to write. I don't know why anyone would not use it necessarily, but it's used to write academic papers for the most part. And I had a table that I wanted to sit at the top of the page, and I could just not make it happen. I couldn't find the right command for it, which was very sad. So I spent all day wrangling with that one because I have my conference paper. The submission deadline for it is this Friday. So we're trying to get more and more done. It is not, yeah, I agree, it's not latex Marijuana King Prime, but we're just going through the potential pronunciations so someone might be aware of what I'm talking about. If they, if they're, someone like, okay, so in defense of latex for a second. It is the mark of a well-read person if they mispronounce a bunch of words, because that probably means they've just read a lot and they just have not heard the words in conversation, right? So if someone has never heard someone talk about latex or latex, however you pronounce it, but it's the k sound, not the x sound, they would not know that it is latex/latex. They would assume it's latex because that's how it's spelled for the most part. L-A-T-E-X. Ow. Ankle is sad. So in defense of it, just means they just haven't heard someone say it. Is now the Oracle is going to try to dive in. And by the way, Spirit's third base is a weird spot in his main base. It kind of almost, it's in a position where it looks like he might try to take it on the linear third, which is, again, this map is so good for Terran because of that pocket base, but he's just ignoring it, which is kind of interesting. Meanwhile, Cyan is gearing up for, well, the charge lot type idea. He's got a bunch of charge lots on the map. In fact, he went charge before Blink, which is really interesting. And considering the fact that Spirit has just gone for 3 CC play, oh no, Cyan, he toggles it on, and then I think he toggled that twice. He will still get a couple workers, but not nearly as much as he could have gotten. Very reticent about how to move in. Seriously though, Cyan, he's moving into this Phoenix charge lot timing, and Spirit doesn't seem to want to move out. He's got that third base. He's taking the forward third base in this game number 2. And that actually does make him pretty vulnerable to a lot of charge lots running right on him. But seems like Cyan is already backing out of this idea. He's still only on 4 gas, not 6. So at least from that perspective, we're not seeing the most tech-heavy build possible. Even still, though, he's got a Robo Bay on the way. We should see those gases get taken eventually. And I'm going to assume this is for Colossus because Charge Lot Disruptor doesn't feel all that good. You got to be very careful to not kill off your own Charge Lots. That is a difficult thing to do indeed. So, +1 on the way. Phoenix continuing to get made. And this game is, pretty stagnant, all things considered. I like this. Oh, this bunker position is excellent with the supply depots around it. That single-handedly is going to keep this base alive for quite a while. And it would really cause tremendous problems if we saw Cyan try to actually break the third base with the big charge lot timing that he may have been looking to go for. And that is part of what Spirit's doing. Notice he's not building full walls. He's just putting stuff on the map in such a way that, while, they're important buildings, it really is just about soaking up the charges. So the charge lots are all in weird spots, and you can pick them off one by one by one by one. But now Cyan is on the map. He doesn't have a Colossus with his army. It is just charge lots, a couple sentries, adepts. But I worry that he's hit his timing for... There was a time where it felt like he was going to get something done. But it feels like that timing is over. So he's going to kill a supply depot and back up for the most part. And that's unfortunate. Spirit is going to get found out. These Widow Mines will get about just nothing done. Well, they're going to drop off, and there we go. There's lift. So Medivacs falls, Widow Mines fall as well. And it's good, though, to see that the players are starting to get a little more active on the map. 7 minutes of ho-hum, I'm just going to macro is, technically I think it's the right move here. But it's not the most fun move. It's not the move that we enjoy watching here as StarCraft fans quite as much. But Cyan now, he's taking his 4th base, and he's got a Colossus. He's got that Warwalker, the thing most vulnerable to the flu that we know of in science fiction. So, you know, the Colossus very clearly it takes inspiration from the Warwalkers of War of the Worlds from H.G. Wells. I think that's obvious. Do we have, when we talk about Stormgate happening, are we going to have, like, where are our visual inspirations going to come from? Like, the only one that I can think of in StarCraft that is, like, a very clear, almost a one-to-one is, oh, drop into the main base, or drop into the 3rd base. Phoenix here makes this rather difficult indeed. But look at what Spirit's doing. Oh, this is actually pretty fancy. So he drops a little bit on the high ground, everything else on the low ground to just suction away, kill off all these zealots. But now force fields are going to be pretty nice. Spirit kiting backwards as well as he can. Phoenix are trying to do something, but all the zealots, they're starting to fall EMPs onto this army. Colossus on the back lines. They're doing a damn fine job. As finally this army of Spirit behind the force field will go down, and most importantly, no medevacs. They've all been killed, and because the medevacs are killed, you can't build any more Vikings, and if you can't build Vikings, these Colossus are very difficult to deal with indeed. Widowmine will go off, and no, it won't. Last second kill. Well done there. But here comes the army of Cyan. Is that... Okay, there's the zealots. 3 Colossus now joining the fray. Dark Shrine, or excuse me, DT Blink as well. Shadow Stride. Cyan has a pretty powerful timing here as he looks to move into the main base, distracting Spirit by attacking one way and then crushing a base elsewhere. And Spirit does have to respond to this. This is a respectable amount of zealots. And again, there's just the SimCity of Spirit. If there is anything that saves him, it is the SimCity on this setup. As notice, he just drops the supply depot on the backside. Make sure you can have a full repair. The zealots are, for the most part, dealt with. Looks like there is still one there. And SCV they just have to be pulled. They have to run away. One Viking in the sky is really the only anti-air that Spirit has for the moment, at least the air-to-air, the anti-Colossus tech that Spirit has. So the 3rd base has been broken down, briefly at the very least, but it has been broken down. 5 SCVs have fallen. Is now, here we go. Spirit on the low ground, good EPs on the Phoenix, knocking down 2 and making sure the rest aren't all that valuable. Look at this. Warp Prism Speed. Just give me the name of the game, and on a map like Stargazers that is so wide open, it makes so much sense. It means that you really do not have to worry about Vikings as a way to deny. You're going to get in. Even over missile turrets, you will probably get in. So again, Cyan setting up the 2-pronged attack. Zealots looking to run into the main base. 1 Dark Templar as well, but Zealots into the main base right as Cyan tries to break the Planetary. But Planetary is a much tougher nut to crack than, say, a 3rd base that really doesn't have a lot of tech defense. Vikings go forward here. Stalkers, they have to blink backwards, which means, well, this is just a dead Colossus here. Is there going to be a second one? Looks like the answer is no. Meanwhile, Zealots will go down, and I think 1 DT died as well, but DT's on the high ground. They blink on the low ground and 2 positions, so they're starting to get tremendous value here. But the Vikings land, and that is going to be enough of that one. But Cyan, he's up 15 workers all of a sudden. Problem, though, that's a big problem. His army, he's down about 40 army supply, and he's down 2 upgrades. I worry that the army of Spirit may just be able to run across the map and kill Cyan, even as he does that economic lead. But the Zealots continue to rally into the main. DT, that singular Dark Templar as well. So this is where life gets complicated, because Spirit wants to move on the map with everything. But I don't know that he can. These Warpins, they kill up barracks. There we go, dropping into the 3rd base. Stalkers blink forward, and they're going to get a couple of these Vikings, but Disruptors, they go down without going off, and this drop on the high ground is fantastic with the tank here as well. Vikings drop on the backside. He's just not winning this fight. Spirit at 163 supply, and Cyan, despite having a significant income lead, not all that much. Vikings back in the air once again, which means these Colossus will go down off screen. So 3rd base now for Cyan is dead. He loses all of his Colossus, I think. Disruptors are on the way, but most of them have already been sniped, and Spirit just all of a sudden turning it on. 106 army supply to 56. Yes, he's down about 22 workers, but it doesn't really matter. And honestly, I really don't like, please lift these up. There we go. I really don't like the decision to continue to warp things into the main base of Spirit. I feel like if you're Cyan, you need every possible unit. Like Spirit, you've already done the damage. If you're Cyan, but you just have to hold. And Spirit, by warping in Zealots like this on Spirit's base, you're not going to hold. You need that 10-20 army supply to maybe buffer long enough for your Colossus to get damage, for your Disruptors to get damage. But as it stands, that damage is not really happening here. Tanks on the low ground, targeting Disruptors down, actually getting a bunch of tanks here as well. And yes, Disruptors, they do pretty well against tanks eventually. The big Disruptor shots, actually. But Spirit has done so much damage in the last minute or so. He killed a base, he killed off a lot of tech, and now Liberator's just going to siege up on this 4th base position, which means the Disruptors not nearly as powerful as they once were. But their shots will go off, and sir, when Disruptors are, or excuse me, when Liberators are on the field, they share range with the Disruptors. If Disruptors want to go and really get on top of these Marines, on top of these Marauders, they're going to tank shots. As we see right there, and it's what, 3 Liberators to kill a 3 Liberator shots, two Liberator shots to kill a Disruptor. And here we go. Bio goes for good EMP on this army. Okay, there we go. Moving forward onto the high ground here, and a big doom drop into the main base. Stalker's playing forward, but there's a problem. The problem is 5 medevacs worth of heavily upgraded bio in the main base of Cyan that he's going to have to respond with in some way. But Liberator sieges up the ramp, so how do you even get up here? Not really. We're going to see +3 not get sniped. Ooh, Spirit, you could have hung around there longer. But I guess he's just more interested in the ping pong. And in all fairness to Cyan here, as bad as this has been, he's lost 2 bases, he's lost a decent amount of tech. He does have 81 workers, and he is still on 4 bases. He has the entire left side, and that bottom left base is a lot harder for Spirit to kill than any of the bases that Spirit has gotten thus far. Hey, Josh, welcome back. Zealots on the high ground. Spirit does have to blink backwards or micro backwards, but that is 4 of the 5, or 4 of the 6 Disruptors all getting spent. So now really Spirit can stim forward with impunity. EMPs blanket this army, and the bio's not even really stimmed just yet. He's being careful. He wants to make sure he's a stim available to him as he has to dodge these Disruptors. But for right now, the 4th base has been found out, so Spirit's going to cut that one off and return Cyan to 3-base scenario. Meanwhile, Spirit's on 5. Spirit's economy, despite only being on 58 workers, is going like absolute gangbusters here. Shots go off, but they're not going to get all that much. Nice hot pickup coming in from Spirit. And now the Disruptors don't have much shots left. That is something that Cyan has been doing kind of all game. He's been sending too many shots off at, I think, any given time, whereas I think the play is to just go and send them off one by one and make it just hard for the Terran to ever split, much like how you would treat Ravager Biles against a bio player, for example. But Cyan does get a Dark Templar into the 4th base, at the very least, that, or it cancels the 5th base, excuse me, and that is something. And I do love the transition back into Colossus, because you know your opponent is not building Vikings. So there is that at the very least, but okay, good EMPs there. The DTs, one of them, or 2 of them will escape as they blink out. We gotta point out, Spirit had an opportunity, I think, maybe he might not have had time, not sure. He had an opportunity, I think, to go snipe 3-3, but now it is 3-1 versus 2-2, so the upgrades are roughly parallel. Bio goes forward. Great splits here from Spirit, and he's just not really taking that much damage from the Disruptor. So bottom left base was sniped once, it will be sniped again. As the Dark Templar, they run forward. That is like the one saving grace, really, that Cyan has, but Colossus now joined the fray. And that does mean Spirit will have to back up for a second. This army, he can't really fight it, but he can fight where the army is not. So EMP is on the Nexus to deny a recall, and the bio just runs right on in. The Nexus is dead. There's really no saving it. DTs, well, they're going to actually get a decent amount of damage until, of course, the scan gets dropped, and then they do go down. So many probes die here. They're just like, I can't even make it out because just resolution. It's 1080p, but I'm watching this on a 4K monitor, but a bunch of probes. Okay, 8 out of 2. Still so many probes at this natural, but all the Disruptors are dead, and folks, Spirit is about to 2-0 Cyan here, which means that Time only needs 1 map. Time will only need 1 map to take week 2, day 1 here on the WTL Winter League, and get some nice revenge after a week 1 loss. And it was a pretty great series, but a week 1 loss to Psystorm Gaming. Yeah, Marijuana King Prime. And the upper right in the blue, folks, for Good Game Gaming, is the Rattata. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It's a ta-ta-ta. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And the upper left, run out of it, maybe. He's Time. Hopefully not. We enjoy Time. We don't get to see Time play enough, honestly. He is such a good player. We need to update. Update the stream title. Which, by the way, mods, technically you can do. You can update my stream title. You do have that power. Please don't abuse it. Please don't change my stream title to Bayo is a poopy butt face. That would make me very sad. So, a reminder, folks, what is at stake here in this game in particular, or in this series in general? Time has to win one map. One map and and Kaizi Gaming wins the week. Ideally, he gets two because, well, players also compete for, title best Terran of the regular season, best player of the regular season, best ceremony after they win a game. I don't think anything beats Harstem shooting at the camera with a banana, but I have been wrong before, and I would love to be wrong in this instance. So where is... And actually, it's kind of funny. We don't get a lot of TVZ in WTL for the most part. We've been blessed with two of them here today. And, Rattata is very, very good. His DreamHack results do not really properly showcase the skill that he is that he definitely has. I mean, he 2-0'd Dark last Monday. Make it to top 4 of EPT North America. Okay, no problem. Well played. No, you? That's what you're saying here, Grumpage? So it's interesting to point out here that Rattata has gone 4-link setup, not 6. All the Koreans actually are going 6 links for the most part because it just keeps you so much safer. But as long as he doesn't lose more than 1 link, he's very okay with this setup here. You expect to lose 1 if you do commit to that. But Reaper trying to get on top of the Creep Tumor. But Rattata made the value judgment, and the judgment that will turn out to be correct, that the Reaper had taken too much damage, tangling with the Lings, trying to get one down, which does mean that the Reaper had to go too far back. Creep Tumor gets up. Rattata gets this creep very far advanced at the start of this game. He dropped that tumor right on the edge of creep, which normally the Zerg cannot do. But Reaper tries to dive in. Unfortunately, it knocks the queen back onto creep, so it can respond as quickly as it would like. But time. Third base on the way behind this, and again, I'm somewhat surprised to see players taking the low ground natural instead of the pocket base. But I guess in this instance in particular, it does deny some scouting. You don't know exactly what's happening. You don't know if it's 2 base or 3 base, or a 2cc, 3cc type of setup. So, as we get a Viking on the way. Time is, of course, we talked about it, just talked about it. He's going for 3cc setup. This does mean that his aggression, any level of aggression that he chooses to go for, is going to be not all that impressive, but interesting. A medevac on the way and an armory. Okay, so it's going to be a 3-base Hellbat timing. This is very much putting Time in the camp of trying to have his cake and eat it too, and it does mean that the standards for his aggression, the standards of damage he needs to get done, are lesser, but he wants to kill, I think, more of the army here. If he goes and he doesn't get that many workers, but he knocks down queens, he knocks down lings, he's very happy. He doesn't have to end this game. He just is trying to take a chunk out of the Zerg position, as this Overlord will go down. And, he's going to try to unload in a pocket spot where he knows Rattata does not have vision. So Hellions now unloading, and okay, so they're just going to dive right in. They're not even going to turn into Hellbats just yet. 2 workers will fall in the middle. Rattata's just not responding here. There's a big line, but now we go, okay, Hellbats morph, and honestly, I feel like I would have preferred to just keep them in Hellion mode as long as possible, because the drones were just not reacting Hellions dive into the third base, but the wall is not there. Hellbats will morph now, but these ones are going to be far less effective. 2 of them already going down. So this is not getting exactly what he wants. Not for time, but in the main base. This absolutely is. He's able to wall off the ramp. The medevac has taken almost no damage. And Hellions and Hellbats, they find their way to the natural. No, you got to click that. You got to click that there, Time. He could have gotten so many drones, but even still, he gets a couple. And Hellions, Hellbats into the main base here. They're going to get picked up, pulled away. This medevac taking minimal damage. Medevac taking minimal damage is really the big story here. It unlocks so much for Time. But realistically, this was not the... I don't know that Time got what he wanted. He's going to take the exposed third, much like we saw Spirit do, actually, in that previous series. And it worked out for Spirit, but again, I can understand trying to hide that you're 3cc play. That makes a lot of sense to me. I guess, though, if you take the pocket third, you push through it, so it's maybe just as safe. And then you can take a quick fourth. Okay. Yeah, that's what Spirit's doing. So 6:30, fourth base. Before his 1-1 is done, before the layer is even done here for Zerg. And that's, again, macro. Greed is the name of the game that we've seen Terran players play. Well, not Dream, but the other Terran players playing with today. It worked very well for Spirit. We're gonna have to see if it works out for Time. Of course, we got to remember here, Time is not the underdog. Time is the overdog. Time is the updog, in fact, of this game. And that does mean that Rattata, he's got to do something a little bit. He's going to feel pressure on him to maybe play better than he normally would, which often can make you play worse. So if Time is just going to play greedy as hell and take this game late, Stargazers is an incredible map for Terrans past the 15-minute mark, past the 20-minute mark. Much like I was talking about on Cosmic. Of course, Cosmic is a bit better of a Zerg map. It's more wide open. It's more attackable. Stargazers is a map that only has 6 bases per side and a goal. And then I guess 160 minerals. No, 80 minerals in each mineral wall. But in general, it's 6 bases a side. Which means that as the game goes late, as we can move into ghost type play, you kind of run into some money issues. You can't afford the Broodlord and Fester type army that really deals with the late game Terran. So we're gonna have to see is now the army goes forward. Hellbats at the front, really just tanking all the damage, and really only one of them goes down anyway. So drop into the main base as well. Time leaning into that, multitasking, and he's just gonna cut backwards as well as he can because there are tanks on line of sight. Blocker, but a lot of Marines just go down. Unfortunate for Time right there. A little bit slow on the pickup, and now Lings will find their way, but one tank gets saved. So at least we got that one. And this drop is not getting too much done in the main base. So Rattata, he took a lot of damage early. You know, that was... Actually, I'm not even sure we say, but there's a lot of damage. But he has been weathering the storm that Time has been trying to put him under. But he's been doing a good job of weathering it. Really not taking that much damage, but... Time does have his fourth base already. It's not even 9 minutes. His fourth base is done. It is turning into an orbital, and that's the second advantage of going for this type of setup. You don't have to get a planetary until you take your 5th base. So quad orbital is just so much money. It's so much map vision. And it will do a great job of powering the significant production that Time has built for himself in this game. Now, we don't have a Ghost Academy just yet. 2-2 is not done. Not for a while, actually. And 2-2 is done for the Zerg in about 5 seconds or right now. So the army of Rattata that he's been able to build is pretty powerful. It is rather scary for Time to have to fight into. So he's not going to go all in. He's not going to go step on creep and get a little bit too overcommitted. He's going to stay on the edge. He's going to maybe try to force some reactions, to force some trades, and be fine with that. Rattata, for his part, got to run by getting set up here. I thought this was the first round, but as Time backs up, Rattata maybe realizes that is not worth doing. Is okay, 5th base, excuse me, will get canceled. Nice job there from Rattata, but there we go. 2-2 now, about 20 seconds out. Drop to the main base, double medevac here, and there really is not a lot of anything to defend it. But the lurker den, excuse me, will go down. 2 workers fall, and Lings now they go to reinforce. And those are some big some big banelings, but not big enough to actually kill anything. So Time takes a little bit of damage here or there, but not really as much as he could have. And, well, Rattata loses out on his lurker timing. He will not... Ghosts will be out in significant numbers by the time lurkers are ready with their upgrades now, which is not a position you ever want to be in as the Zerg. You kind of want that lurker timing to hit before the Terran is ready. Then you can run across the map. Then you can siege up their bases, and it becomes rather difficult. If the Ghosts are already out on the map, it kind of feels like a trap here. Good splits from time on the front side. Widowmines get a ton of these banelings, and the tanks, they're not even going to go down. Great trades there from time, and now he's going to be able to shove forward. But again, it's the bottom right base. This is the hardest base on the map for the Terran to push. Bar none, by far. It takes so long for your reinforcements to get across. Kind of like a Golden Wall scenario. But for now, time is doing a pretty good job of it. One queen getting very low, but will not go down. Ling's Banes, they come flooding forward. Marauders, the wall at the front. Tanks a little bit far back here, so they're not doing a great job of getting the Banelings just yet. But even still, time, he kites backwards here. Lurkers now on the way, but you can just drop a scan. Remember, this is quad mining orbital. The scans are numerous. They are plentiful. They're there for days and nights. So the lurkers burrow up, though, and there's just not quite enough army for time to get on top of it right now. But the lurkers do not have seismic spines, so they are not able to take the fight that they want. Burrowing behind the mineral line, trying to make something happen here. Tanks will get abducted, but the Vipers, they don't even know what they got to do. They don't drop parasitic bombs. They abduct once. The Viper has plenty of energy, but there are no Banelings on the field anymore. The lurkers are not doing much of anything. There's the parasitic bomb going down. Banelings they actually get some great connections with the Widowmines as well, so friendly fire, and time is just clumping all of his medevacs up like he wants them to die. Same medevacs. Same. But even still. Excellent trades from time in that engagement. He gets the 5th base, or I guess this was the 4th base of Rattata. Doesn't get any lurkers, but he gets a lot more, and now he's moving in once again. Ghosts are on the field now, which means snipes, which means that these lurkers are not nearly as powerful. Lurker goes forward, but it gets knocked down as it burrows. It gets sniped down here, and his tanks siege up as well. How good are the split? Oh, they're fantastic. Time doesn't, he's able to dodge pretty much all the lurker spines. Snipes go down, but good abducts there on the Ghost, keep them alive for the most part. Hot pickup there, saves from time, keeps everything alive, but the medevac falls anyways. Now the rally of time getting a little bit complicated on the north side of the map here, as he's just playing with little bits and drabs, drips and drabs of units, and you need more than that if you are to break a Zerg that has lurkers. So time is going to have to content himself with what he has found in this game, I think. He needs a little bit of time for his reinforcements to join up with his army, but still, keeping the Zerg on 4 bases and realistically knocking them down to 3 bases for a second. Killing off a decent amount of lurkers, killing off a bunch of Banes. Well, that's absolutely wonderful. This lurker's dead. It's not coming back. Time now. 6 base on the way, bottom left side. The one base that is his that he has not yet taken is getting taken on location. That is how much map pressure he has. He's not worried about a run by. Not worried about something like that. The Zerg cannot find their way into the bottom left without dealing with this army that is pushing through right now. So we do have Vipers go forward. Good abduct. EMPs hit the last of it, though. I think there's maybe one more abduct here. Snipes go down. And it will get one Ghost, maybe a second, but as the Ghosts split backwards, doing what they can, tanking the high ground as well. Widowmine kills a lurker, and Good Game Gaming is in fact dead. Time, with relentless aggression, takes game number 1. Cosmic Sapphire again picked by the Zerg here in the bottom right. In the blue, he's the Zerg player. It's Rattata. Rattata. In the upper left, in the red, up 1. Relentless aggression. He's time. Or as, what was her name? Sweet Brown once said? Ain't nobody got time for that. As we lean way back into the annals of internet lore. I took a summer-long kind of history of religion class with the father of Shmo Yoho, which was kind of cool. We would go this man was like a modern Pi Patel, if you ever read Life of Pi, where like the start of it, he was a ordained Baptist minister, but also a Zen Buddhist. And there was more, but it's been too long, I forget. We would start every class day, and this was a summer-long intensive thing. It was pretty cool. I would take 2 classes in the morning, 1 class in the afternoon. We start every class we would meditate for 10 minutes, or for however long. And then we would watch one of his son's videos because Shmo Yoho are his sons. They, you know, like they got big on YouTube from like auto tuning viral clips. The big one you might be familiar with is the home intruder song when Antoine Dodson beat up someone that was climbing in his sister's window. Beat him off, and he was a minor celebrity in the news for a week or so. This incredible interview, and they auto tuned it. And he made both the Shmo Yoho people and Antoine Dodson made a lot of money out of the deal, so it worked out well. But anyways, we'd watch one of his kids' videos. And then we would learn about, you know, the comparative religious histories of the sub-Saharan caliphate as it evolved compared to, the development of Shintoism or something. Really great class. And a great guy. So how does Rattata make something happen here? This early pool didn't get much of anything done. Didn't really even delay the command center. I did force time to build a bunker, but bunkers are really cheap. You can just salvage them if you don't want them. In fact, Time may have even decided to cancel that. I don't think so. I think it's still there on the minimap. I mean, he can salvage that whenever he wants and get most of it back. So, really, Rattata's aggression is not getting all that much done. Sorry, girlfriend was texting, and you know, that's more important than all you hooligans in Twitch chat. And this is again 360 play from Time. Seems like he wants to just go into the late game once again, and I was talking about this in the Reynor series, where theoretically this makes sense. Cosmic Sapphire is a map that is limited in the base count, but it's so wide open, and the expansion pattern pulls you so far away from your core bases that it is something that it is much easier for the Zerg to abuse than it is on, for example, Stargazers. That doesn't pull you away quite as far. Aliens dive into the natural, and okay, that's a 4 drones going down. Nice response from Rattata in that he is able to get the Evo canceled, but still, 5 workers go down, and I think there was maybe 1 Hellion that dies, but on the other side of the map, a couple Lings worry their way into the natural, forces a cancel on a supply depot, gets 3 SCVs, and that's probably going to be the extent of it. Oh, on the high ground, does it find its way into the main base? I actually can't tell. Does get a full scout. So now Rattata is aware that this is a 3rd command center. This is not any sort of aggression. So Rattata, depending on how he wants to go, can be greedy as all hell here. Good wall, though, but Hellions dive on the other side. Lings get the surround. 2 more workers fall, but that should be the extent of it. Nice handling of this from Rattata. He loses a 3rd worker, but that's fine. He killed off all the army supply, all of the map control that Time has on this point. And yes, in total, it's 8 workers overall. It's starting to hit that point where you're like, Rattata. But remember, he can drone pretty hard behind this, so I think he's okay. I mean, obviously, you'd rather not take the damage whatsoever, and I think Reynor, for example, would have taken even less, but it's not game-ending damage. It's not just, oh, wow, you just lost 20 workers, good luck. Like, you're not coming back from this. So Rattata will be fine. He's got his 4th base on the way. He's doing a great job with this creep spread. Doing a fantastic job getting it out. And Cosmic is not a map where it is the easiest to go mid-map with your creep. There are a lot of high ground, low ground, high ground, so getting your creep tumors up the high grounds again can be a little annoying unless you want to send a queen there. There are a bunch of rocks that you want to push your creep through, so the map is varied enough that it can get a little bit annoying. There's a quick Hydrogen from Rattata. I think this is just part of the understanding that Time is not going to be going for a style that requires him that is just going to be, say, a 2-base all-in, like we saw Dream do to Reynor in game number 1, where you just need Ling Bane and you just got to hold on as hard and as long as you possibly can, and then you win or you lose. But you can't afford Hydras, you cannot afford next level tech. It is just about survival. Time is giving Rattata all the time in the world. We're 7 minutes in, and there has not really been a real push just yet, which means that Rattata can afford a Hydra Den. He can afford Hydra speed. He can afford Hydras. And that means that by the time that Time moves out, by the time that Time moves out for the first time, his army is going to be very good. Much stronger than it would be if Time was able to put pressure on for the last couple minutes. So this drop goes down, but Lings have an immediate surround. They're all on patrol. I don't really know what Time was going for there. Maybe trying to distract from this push, but it seems like Rattata wins the fight around the Zelnaga as well. I think that's a lot of Terran blood, not a lot of Zerg blood. Although I always find it interesting that, to my understanding, the Chinese client censors all that, so interesting that we do get those animations anyways. Baneling speed is now done, which means it's a lot easier for Rattata to take these fights. But Time has done a pretty good job of denying creep spread on the right side, but Rattata, that, unlike a lot of Zergs, that's not where he's focusing. It's all on the bottom left. He's going to try to take the gold, and first of all, it means that Time is a bit of an interesting pushing location. He can take the 9 o'clock base, and he can be very successful with that, but he might autopilot to taking the 12 o'clock base just because that's kind of how it tends to go, and that will mean it's going to be hard for him to push through. Anyway, great for now, getting knocked down. Time finds his way into where this 4th base is. Good job on the drag there on the Widow Mines, and things will force this back, but also this drop will find the gold. So Time is not going to expand to the wrong spot before the gold is complete. Or before he finds out about the gold, excuse me. So he now knows where he needs to put his 4th base. He knows where his pushes need to come from. Hydra's trying to find a medevac, but they're just a little bit too slow. But in the main base here, Lings are where they need to be, except they're on patrol. Rattata not responding until right now, and there's a big difference between letting half the drop, the majority of the drop up, and being on patrol on top of it. And that difference is between the Marines fighting off all these Lings like they just did, or not, or just getting swallowed whole. So the drop of the main base continues to find a little bit of value, and now Rattata's got a bit of a, I don't know what you would call this, a run by. It's more than that. Banelings, they come filtering on forward. A bunch of Marines will just fall, and this 4th base is going to get killed or canceled. It's up to Time, really. Lings find their way into the 3rd base. The Hydra arc is fantastic. The army of Time just going down and down and down and down. 4th base killed, canceled, not really sure, but SCVs have to get pulled away. And this Hydra Ling force is just so damn powerful. Rattata rallying across the map. There is really nothing left for Time anymore in this game. Rattata, he takes the game, but it doesn't really matter. Outside of pride and glory and all of these wonderful things, because Rattata, he had to win both.